My name's Eula Mae Hargrove, and I've been rockin' in this chair nigh on 80 years now, watchin' the world spin round from this very porch. Elmwood, Kentucky, that's where I was born, back in 1932, when the Depression had folks scrapping by on cornbread and prayers. Ain't much changed here, truth be told. The town's still just a speck on the map, with dusty gravel roads windin' through the hollers. Old farmhouses saggin' like tired old men, and them deep, dark woods creepin' up on every side. Folks round here don't talk much to outsiders. But since you're my great-grandniece, ain't ya? I'll tell you a tale from my own life. But mind you, child, this ain't no fairy story. It's real as the dirt under my nails. And once you hear it, well, you might wish you hadn't. Now, let me wet my whistle with a sip of this tea. Ah, that's better. Where was I? Oh yes, the beginning. We lived out on Hargrove Farm, 'bout 3 miles from town proper. Daddy was a tobacco farmer, God rest his soul, and Mama kept the house with us for young'uns, me, my older brother Jed, little sister Ruthie, and baby Tommy. The farmhouse was a 2-story clapboard thing, painted white once upon a time, but by the 40s, it was peeling and gray as a ghost, screen door always creakin' in the wind, and the porch wrapped round like arms huggin' the place tight. Behind us stretched the fields, golden with burly tobacco in summer. But to the north, oh, to the north were the Whispering Woods. That's what folks called 'em, and for good reason. Them trees were old as sin, twisted oaks and hickories so thick you couldn't see 10 feet in on a sunny day. The ground was all tangled roots and fallen leaves that never seemed to rot proper. Local legends said the woods were cursed way back in the Civil War days. Some Confederate deserters hid out there, see, and one night they turned on each other, knives and madness leavin' their spirits to wander. But it weren't just ghosts. No, the tales spoke of whispers, soft voices callin' your name, tellin' secrets only you knew, driven you to do things, terrible things. Old man Whitaker from down the road swore he heard his dead wife's voice in there once, beggin' him to join her. He went in and never came out. Body found hanging from a branch, eyes wide like he'd seen the devil himself. But that was just stories. Or so we kids thought. We dare each other to run to the edge, toss a stone in, and listen. Sometimes you'd hear nothin' but the wind. Other times, well, let's not jump ahead. It started innocent-like, back in the summer of 1945. I was 13, skinny as a rail with braids down my back. The war was just endin', and folks were celebrating. But out on the farm, life rolled on same as always. Jed, he was 15 then, tall and strong like Daddy, and I were out pickin' blackberries along the wood's edge. The berries grew wild there, fat and juicy. But Mama always warned us not to stray too far. Them woods ain't right, Eula Mae, she'd say, crossin' herself. Stay in the light. That day was hot, the kind where the air shimmers and cicadas scream from the trees. We filled our pails quick, laughing and throwin' berries at each other. Then Jed stopped sudden like, his head tilted. You hear that? He asked. I shook my head, but he insisted. Sounds like someone callin'. I listened hard. At first, nothin'. Then, faint as a breath, I heard it. Jed, Jeddih. It was a woman's voice, soft and sweet, like honey drippin'. But there weren't no woman out there. We dropped our pails and ran home, hearts pounding. Told Mama, but she just shushed us. Wind playin' tricks, she said, but her eyes looked scared. That night, I couldn't sleep. My room was upstairs, window facin' the woods. The moon was full, castin' silver light through the curtains. I lay there, sweatin' under the quilt, when I heard it again. Whispers, not callin' names this time, but mutterin', like folks arguing in the next room. I crept to the window, peeked out. The woods were black as pitch, but I swear I saw something moving, a shadow slinkin' between the trees, tall and thin, like a man stretched too long. I slammed the curtains shut and burrowed under the covers, pray until mornin'. Next day, Jed acted like nothin' happened, but I noticed he kept glancing north, toward them trees. Weeks passed, and things quieted. Harvest came, and we were busy strippin' tobacco leaves, hanging 'em in the barn to cure. Elmwood had its annual fair that fall booths with apple cider, fiddle music, and pie contests. I won 3rd place with my peach cobbler, but even there, folks whispered 'bout the woods. Mrs. Landry, the school teacher, told a story round the bonfire 'bout her grandpappy. Said he went hunting in there back in 1890 and came out babblin' 'bout the hollow ones, spirits that burrow into your mind, make you see things that ain't there. They feed on your fears, she said, her voice low. Turn brother against brother. I shivered, but laughed it off with the other kids. Still, on the way home, ridden in the back of Daddy's old Ford truck, I stared at the woods passin' by and felt a chill. Then came the first real strange incident. It was October, leaves turnin' red and gold. Our dog, Buster, a mangy old coonhound, started actin' queer. He'd bark at nothin', hackles up, starin' at the woods. One evenin', as the sun dipped low, he bolted from the porch, howlin' like mad, straight into them trees. We called and whistled, but he was gone. Daddy took his lantern and shotgun, went in after him, came back hours later, face pale, empty-handed. Something got him, he muttered. Heard yelpin', then silence. We found Buster 2 days later, or what was left of him. His body was at the wood's edge, twisted unnatural, like his bones had been bent. No blood, no wounds, just dead eyes staring up. Jed buried him out back, but he didn't say much. That night, I heard the whispers again, louder. Eula, come play. I told Jed the next mornin', and he nodded slow. I hear 'em too, he admitted. They say things 'bout Mama and Daddy. His eyes looked haunted, like he hadn't slept. I asked what things, but he just shook his head. Nothin' good. Winter came harsh that year, snow piling up like white graves. The farmhouse creaked in the wind, and we huddled by the stove. Ruthie, she was only 8, started havin' nightmares, screamin' in the night 'bout the man with no face. Tommy, the baby, cried constant. Mama took to readin' the Bible aloud, verses 'bout demons and protection. Daddy drank more'n usual, his rye whiskey bottle emptyin' quick. Me and Jed tried to keep busy, choppin' wood, mendin' fences, but the whispers didn't stop. They'd come at odd times while milkin' the cows, or fetchin' water from the well, always from the woods, pullin' at you like invisible strings. One afternoon, I was alone in the barn, stackin' hay. The air went cold sudden, like a door opened to January. Then the voice, Eula Mae, your brother's keepin' secrets. I spun round, but nothin' there. Heart racin', I ran to the house. Found Jed in his room, starin' out the window. What secrets, Jed? I demanded. He turned, eyes wide. How'd you know? Turns out, he'd been sneaking into the woods at night, just to listen, he said. They tell me things, 'bout the future, 'bout power. I begged him to stop, but he laughed it off. Ain't nothin' but echoes, sis. Old tales. Spring thawed the ground, but the chill lingered in our home. Folks in town started talkin'. Mr. Ellis, from the general store, lost his wife. She wandered into the woods one night, claiming she heard her mama callin'. Found her drowned in the creek, face down into inches of water. Suicide, they said, but her eyes were scratched out, like she'd done it herself. Then little Billy Tate, a boy from school, went missing. Last seen playing near the woods. Search parties combed the trees, but nothin'. His mama went mad with grief, swearin' she heard his giggles at night. Elmwood felt cursed. Preacher Harlan preached fire and brimstone Sundays, warning 'bout the devil's playground. The whispering woods tempt the weak. He'd boom, resist, or be lost. I clung to that, prayin' hard. But Jed was changing. He grew quiet, sneaky. Caught him once with a knife, carvin' strange symbols into the barn wall, circles and lines that made my head hurt to look at. "What are those?" I asked. "Nothin'," he snapped, hidin' the blade. His eyes had a glassy look, like he was seeing things I couldn't. It all came to a head that summer of 1946. Heat wave baked the land, dryin' the creeks. Ruthie fell ill fever, ravin' 'bout voices. Mama nursed her, but nothin' helped. One night, storm clouds rolled in, thunder rumblin' like God's anger. I woke to a crash downstairs, crept down the stairs, barefoot, heart in my throat. The kitchen door was open, rain lashin' in. Daddy was out there on the porch, shotgun in hand, starin' at the woods. "Who's there?" he bellowed. Lightning flashed, and I saw it, a figure at the tree line. Tall and shadowy, arms hanging limp, then gone. Daddy fired into the dark, the boom echoing. We barred the doors, but sleep didn't come. Mornin' brought worse. Tommy was gone from his crib. No cry, no sign, just an empty blanket. We searched frantic, callin' his name. Jed joined late, lookin' disheveled, mud on his boots. "Where were you?" Daddy growled. Jed shrugged. "Walking." Suspicion hung heavy. Days blurred into nightmare. Search parties found nothin'. Mama wept constant, rockin' in this very chair. I confronted Jed in the barn. "You know something," I accused. He smiled strange, teeth gleaming. "The woods told me, Eula. Tommy's safe with them." I backed away, terrified. That night, I followed him. He slipped out after midnight, into the woods. I trailed quiet, branches snagging my nightgown. The whispers grew loud, a chorus now. "Join us, family." Abel quotes deeper in. The trees closed like a cage. I found Jed in a clearing, kneelin' by a stone altar, old, mossy, with them same symbols carved. And there, oh Lord, there was Tommy. Not dead, but sittin' still, eyes blank. Jed turned, his face twisted. "They want us all," he whispered. "The hollow ones. They live in us." He lunged, knife flashin'. I screamed, ran blind through the thorns. Branches whipped my face, whispers laughing, burst out the woods, collapsed on the porch. Daddy found me, babblin'. They went in after Jed and Tommy. Found the clearing, the altar, but empty, no sign. Jed and Tommy vanished like smoke. The town mourned, but life ground on. Ruthie recovered slow. Mama aged overnight, hair turnin' white. Daddy drank himself to death by 50. I married young, to escape moved to town with Harlan Jenkins, the preacher's son. Had kids, grandkids, but the whispers, they never fully left. I'd hear 'em faint, on windy nights. Ruthie did too. She moved away, to the city. But last I heard, she ended up in an asylum. Ravin' 'bout voices. Elmwood shrank, folks leavin'. The woods grew closer, swallowing fields. I came back here after Harlan passed, to the old farmhouse. It's just me now, rockin' away the days. But wait, child, that's not the end. You see, I told you this tale for a reason. Lean in close. I've kept one secret all these years. That night in the woods, When Jed lunged, I didn't just run. I fought back, grabbed a rock, bashed his head. Blood everywhere. The whispers cheered. Then Tommy, he saw, started crying. I couldn't let him tell, so I hushed him, buried 'em both under that altar. The hollow ones. They weren't in the woods. They were in me. Always were. Passed down from Mama, who heard 'em as a girl. And now, darlin', listen close. Do you hear 'em callin' your name? 'Cause I've been whispering to you this whole time. And you ain't leaving this porch.